Hello, I'm Lewis Nichols and you're watching the Cornwall channel, and today we're joined by Ian McNeice. So hi Ian, thanks for joining us again on the channel. The last time we spoke to you, you actually took us for the best fish finger sandwich we had ever had. Don't know if you remember.
That's right. Yeah. Yes, he won it, didn't he? He won the fish finger challenge. Absolutely.
And you took us to experience one of them.
I did.
So you're back here in Cornwall to film the new series of Doc Martin.
Yeah.
And with this show, a lot of time you get a TV show that's on. And it's the first few series kind of is the best, and then it fizzles out. But with Doc Martin, I feel it's the other way around. It actually gets better and better, more popular, the ratings are high. So what do you think the secret is?
You are very kind. Well, the secret is obviously me, isn't it, really, quite frankly? No, I have to say that we've got the luxury of doing it every other year, so there's a gap in between. So it's every 2 years we do it, which gives the writers and the producers a long time to really work out the scripts, really work out the arc lines for all the characters, and so that's a real luxury, and it pays off because when we have our scripts, they're pretty solid, I have to say. And I think Martin Clunes has always said that he would only do it as long as it was good, and 9 series, it's still good, it's still going, so it's amazing.
I remember the last series was so popular, and we actually interviewed you and Martin, and I was surprised online with the amount of international fans of the show there are. I was having people from America message, from so many different countries. So does it ever take you by surprise with how big the show is all around the world?
Because a little while ago I had an email from this lady called Gloria, and she said, I've got a fan club for you in America, and I have this extraordinary fan club of women of a certain age. They're not entirely 22, but they're going in their 60s, in their 70s, in their 80s, and they're basically all women. And we've got about 2,000 people now, all in love with Bert Large, I have to say. So it's amazing. And come around June time, quite a few of them are heading to Cornwall for Bertstock, they call it.
Bertstock.
Bertstock is going to take place in Port Isaac, so that's going to be an event not to miss.
And you've actually appeared in the same amount of episodes as Martin Clunes, obviously being all of them, which makes you a Doc Martin legend.
It does, not quite as rich, though, as Martin Clunes himself, but you know what? I'm not complaining.
So for you, do you have a standout moment or episode that you always look back on and kind of with fond memories, makes you laugh?
Well, everybody asks me that question quite a lot, and I have to look back and say that there is one in particular which is touched the heartstrings of a few people, which is when my son tried to work out whether he was actually my son or not, and I was the father, and it was quite a touching little episode. I think I had to cry at one point, but so that I look back as a little achievement. I always say that Joe Absalom, who plays my son, is the son I always wanted. I've got 2 sons, and quite frankly, they've all lagged behind him. I'm kidding.
I remember that you were actually fishing, weren't you, in the scene?
Yes.
Yeah, and then that's
right, absolutely, and we then talked about it. Yeah.
And do you keep in contact with him when you're not filming?
Absolutely. No, we are in contact all the time. I mean, he comes up to London to do the odd job, and in fact, he actually sent me a photograph a little while ago, and he said, "Guess where I am?" And I looked at it, and I thought, that's my kitchen in Port Isaac, and he was in my kitchen, and he has a little side job when he's not working, which is as a plumber. And considering he's started the job in Port Isaac in Doc Martin as a plumber, he's now really is a plumber, working as a sideline to make a few quid. And there he was in my kitchen putting in new radiators all through the house while I was away, which was amazing.
So he got the experience from working with you.
He did.
So how does it work? Every series, do you expect a phone call at a certain month saying, right, we know we're going to be filming again? Or is there ever a time where you think, God, the phone's not rang yet? I'm getting a bit nervous here.
Well, I'm going to let you into a little secret here, because there's a farm that we use, right, in just outside of Port Isaac, which actually has a barn in it, where we have all the studios. So we've got the surgery in there, and also the kitchen of Doc Martin and the waiting room. Lovely little sets, which we use when it's raining. And we use that quite a lot when it's raining in Cornwall, quite frankly, so we have to go there quite a bit. But it's owned by the farmer, and guess who's the first person to know? Who is the first person to know whether we're ever going to do another series. It's him, because they've got to rent. They've got to rent it out.
Oh, wow, okay.
So they give him a call, and I ring him, obviously, constantly. Say, have you heard? Have you heard? And it's the only place ever where, you ring a farmer to find out whether you've got another year's work ahead of you. So it's great.
And I got to say, a lot of people, actors-wise, you can just come here, do your bit and go, but you actually become a massive part of the community here. And I know, for instance, talking to you last time, you actually have selfies with fans and you raise a lot of money for the RNLI.
I do, that's absolutely right. I mean, various bibs and bobs over the years that we raised, for cancer relief and also for the lifeboats and that. Yes, now, I carry a little green bucket, a little sand bucket, and constantly being asked for a photograph. I say, put £1 in there, put £1 in there. And surprisingly, over the time that we're here, we can raise anything from £6,000 or £7,000 just by having a photograph taken, which is terrific. So that's great.
And you're friends with a lot of the local business owners as well. I remember last time the lady in the pasty shop that you knew quite well. So you really do kind of get involved.
I do get involved. I do get involved with the people. I like the people a lot. And just funny enough, I was just first day back. I'm up in the co-op just getting some stuff in for the day, and a lot of people, all the locals, saying, "Oh, you're back again. Oh, you doing all right, love?" I say, "Yeah, back again." He says, "Oh, nice to see you. Nice to see you." So that was nice. That's very nice.
So the last time we actually spoke to you, Shane, the owner of the Cornwall channel, is a massive fan of the Ace Ventura films.
Oh, right.
And it was only afterwards he clicked and realised that you were obviously in the film.
I was Fulton Greenwell, who took Jim Carrey through the movie, yeah.
So what was it like working with Jim, and what was it like being part of such a huge film?
I have to say that, I could, my children, right, so my children, I've done a lot of work on the Royal Shakespeare Company, a lot of classic TV, all the rest of it, forget it. Jim Carrey movie, I was a god. I was an absolute god, knowing that I was going to be in a Jim Carrey movie, so it's great. No, it was extraordinary because, he is he improvises all the time, and you can imagine all those riffs that he does. There's nothing in the script, so I turn up every day. You can throw the script out of the window because it's all new. He's trying to work out new gags and stuff. All the rest. So I just look at him and think to myself, "Have you finished? Have you finished? Shall I come in now? Shall I come in now?" I think it's a testament to how long I lasted that I just about made it right, that I didn't trample on any of his stuff. But it's it's a challenge. It really is, and he's on it 24 hours a day. He will come to the set and long lighting cues in between. Maybe takes 2-3 hours to do a turnaround, a lighting setup, and most people retire to their trailers and have a cup of coffee, read a book or stuff like that. He stays on the set and entertains the troops as they work. He'll do stand-up, he'll do musical instruments, he'll funny walks up and down, just making all the crew laugh. And just 24 hours a day, so he never stops. He's phenomenal.
And is there ever a time when you ever kind of sit down and reflect on your career? Because when you actually look on paper, you've done everything with what you've worked on, and a lot of the shows you've done are huge, Doctor Who being one of them.
Well, that's very kind of you, but once I start thinking of that's maybe time to retire. I don't know. It's like it's funny. I do these conventions mainly for Doctor Who, and people will come up and they'll suddenly bring a DVD cover of something that I've been before, and I sign it and all the rest of it, and it really is like drowning. My life passes in front of me with all these things that I'd forgotten about that I'd done years ago, like Day of the Dead or something like that, a zombie movie. I've been so lucky that really I can do classic, theatre, like going to the Globe and doing Henry VIII, and yet I can do a zombie movie, which I love. I love being that sort of eclectic type of career, which has been great.
And going back to Doctor Who, you appeared obviously in 4 episodes as Winston Churchill, but that became such a legendary part. And like you said, you go to Comic-Cons, conventions to meet people. When you obviously initially took the job on for the 4 episodes, did you ever anticipate that it would become so legendary as it has?
I never understood at all. I never understood at all because, I just want to show you something now, if I could. Would you mind getting something for me, darling? Thank you very much.
Bit of an exclusive coming on the channel.
An exclusive coming on the channel that I'm going to show you something now, which came out of Doctor Who. Thank you so much, very much.
I had a bit of a nose at this.
Now, here it is. This, in fact, is, there it is in all its glory, myself as Doctor Who. My children could not believe that, in fact, I now have a action figure. There we go. Winston Churchill action figure in Doctor Who. So that's how incredible it's been. It really has been a life-changing experience. I mean, playing Winston Churchill. I mean, I get so many people coming up saying, and congratulations with the Oscar. Of course, it's not Miss Gary Oldman. But that, I think that's my best part when a convention says, "Oh, and you got an Oscar too? That's great." Yes, not quite.
No, I think Shane can relate to that. He had a figure made of him, but it turned out to be Steve McFadden. So
really?
A bit unfortunate.
Oh, I like that. I like that a lot.
For you though, so far with everything you've done, what would you say is the standout career highlight for you? The moment that you
goodness
look
me!
back on with fondness?
It has to be the two things. It has to be two things. I mean, obviously Ace Ventura. I still get. I mean, what I can't get over is that. I mean, I made that in 1995.
Yeah.
So do your maths. I mean, how many years is that?
I was 2.
You were 2. So how many years is that ago?
23.
23 years.
Yeah.
23 years ago. If I tell you that kids of the age of 7 or 8 will say, Ace Ventura.
Yeah.
That's extraordinary. I mean, that length of... I mean, that's, to me, I mean, the endurance of that is extraordinary. So that's got to be... And, of course, proper job and made of. It's got to be this, hasn't it, my darling?
I've got to say, out of all the characters in Doc Martin, I personally feel you are the best resemblance of a Cornish person with your sayings.
Well, do you know what? The thing is, as I said before, I relied on this lady called... Nicky Bradbury. She runs the pasty shop in Cornwall. Come and get it here, down in Port Isaac. Nicky's Pasties, they are, my love. And she's been, over the years, given me words that I've tried to sneak into the show because I said, I got to make it Cornish, got to make it Cornish. So we've had Proper Job, Cheers and Gone is another one. So a lot of all these expressions
goes with the flow.
Goes with the flow. I know. So, try and get them in.
I've got to apologise in advance. Obviously, last time we interviewed you, we played Doc Martin or Doc Who, where we gave you an actor's name and you had to tell us...
This is horrible.
I mean, it didn't go so well.
Okay, and just tell me how many did Martin Clunes get right then?
1.
Well, yeah, 1. So I'm a good standing here because I maybe got 2.
But this quiz is actually just about you, so it's not specific to Doc Martin.
This is going to be even worse. Even worse than last time. All right, here we go.
So, you appeared in Minder as a character called Eric, but in what year?
Oh, that's easy. That's 1984.
Correct. That's one.
Oh my God, are you serious?
1984.
Oh my God, that's amazing. Really?
Got that right, the first one.
Wow.
You played a character of Stanley Sharkey in which film?
That would be in Funny Bones.
Correct. So we're at 2 so far. You starred alongside Tara Fitzgerald and Ian Hart in which film?
The Man Who Went Up the Hill and Came Down a Mountain.
Correct.
Or even The Man Who Went Up a Hill and Came Down a Mountain.
The Englishman Who Went Up a Hill and Came Down a Mountain. So we've got 3 out of 3 so far.
3 going well.
In an episode of Doc Martin, what did Bert put on his arm in order to prank Dr. Ellingham?
It would be ketchup.
Correct.
Because he tried to scare him about being, a blood phobic.
You appeared as a newsreader in a TV series called Rome, but how many episodes did you appear in?
Okay, I'm going to say 24.
20.
Oh!
So not too far off at 20.
Okay, one wrong.
What was the first ever episode of Doc Martin called?
Bert's Revenge.
Incorrect. You'll be surprised, it was Going Bodmin.
Oh, Going Bodmin.
Do you remember everyone kept saying it to him as he
I know. I
came
said
in?
it a lot in there.
Yeah.
It was my expression. I think I brought it out. And do you know what? We offended so many people in Bodmin with that one episode, I have to tell you.
Hence why we never saw it again in the future. What was the name of Doc Martin's first ever receptionist in Series 1?
Oh, yes. Cindy? Don't tell me, it's coming now. Elaine.
Correct.
Yes!
There we go. Bert took over the chip shop in Doc Martin after Mrs. Who burnt her hand in the fryer.
Oh. Begins with C.
Yes.
Cleverly.
And her son was called Peter.
Yes, Peter Crouch. Crouch. Clucking.
Crunk.
Crunk. I knew it was right.
I'm going to give you that purely because of how close it was.
Half a point on that.
You played Mr. Dick in which TV film?
Oliver Twist. No, yes, Oliver Twist. No. It would be Nicholas Nickleby. No, David Copperfield.
Yes,
got
you
it
got
right.
it.
Got it right.
And the last question, if
Yes.
you get this right, you would
Yes.
have got 8 out of 10.
I get an Aston Martin, right?
So Shane will give you a prize.
All right, I get a prize
who-
if I get this right.
Yes. And Shane has to come up with it. Who did you
He's
play?
looking around to give him a plant from the garden. Exactly.
Who did you play in Nativity 2?
I played David Tennant's dad. I can't give you a name, but that's not bad.
Mr. Peterson Senior.
I want my prize. Peterson. Give me a little tour. Yes, right.
Okay?
Ian.
Wow, look about that.
You've done
Hey,
so
high
much
five.
better on
There
that.
you
Are
go.
impressed? Very good. Have you read the scripts for the upcoming series of Doc Martin?
Only my bits.
Only your bit. Can we expect the same excitement that we have each series?
Do you know what? I mean, the thing is, it only gets better, doesn't it, really? I can't tell you what's in it because I'd have to kill you. But let's just say that I think people are going to have a lot of fun with this too, as they always do.
Well, Ian, it's been a pleasure interviewing
Absolutely.
you again.
No,
and
seriously.
You're such a versatile actor in everything that you do. And
Schmooze me.
I'm a huge fan of the show. You know, I know all the episodes. So thank you for taking the time to join us on the Cornwall channel.
You're very welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.